It never ceases to amaze me how hockey athletes do certain exercises for years without getting any gains out of it. Yet they still continue doing that same stuff again and again. Like Albert Einstein pointed out, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So today we're gonna stop the insanity. I'll walk you through 5 common off-ice exercises that are nothing but a waste of time. Ones that you probably are still doing, and I'll show you which exercises you should do instead. Let's start with something we're all too familiar with, planks. Who thinks this does anything for your core strength? If you get a training effect from planks, then you are so deconditioned to begin with that you're not an athlete, you're a couch potato. So what's a better isometric abdominal exercise? Right out of the gymnastics world, the L-sit on rings. This is true core strength. You're not going to be able to do these on your first try because you don't have the strength and body control for it, but it's something you'll want to progress to over time. If you can hold a legit ring L-sit with straight legs and ankles above your hips for 15 seconds, then you have well above average core strength. Second silly exercise to chuck out of your workout plan, wall sits. Again, what's the point? You're performing an isometric leg exercise for time. Yes, the burn gets bad after a while, but that's not a valid measure of how effective an exercise is. Isometrics don't build much muscle, and the strength gains you make are limited to the joint angles used. They don't translate to a full range of motion. A much better option for building a strong set of wheels is the barbell squat. Unlike wall sits, deep squats will build serious leg strength and muscle, and they carry over to sprinting, jumping, and skating. Next on the list, Supermans, also known as back extensions on the floor. These do nothing for you. You can't really overload them with weight, so the only way to make progress is to bang out more reps. And trust me, you can do a lot of reps here. We're not sticking to a strength building rep range. It's all muscular endurance when you're completing 20, 30 or more reps. So forget about building that strong lower back that caused you to pick this movement in the first place. But even worse is that if you look at the exercise, it's nothing but hyperextension of the spine. You're just cranking your lower back further and further into extension, well beyond what goes on in sports or everyday life. This isn't smart for long-term back health. If you actually want a strong set of spinal erectors and a bulletproof lower back, then ditch this worthless exercise and go with 45-degree back extensions. Not only do you train the lower back, but you also get some hamstring and glute involvement as well. You can easily overload this movement with external resistance or a band, and you're not placing a ton of stress on your spine because you're not repeatedly entering hyperextension. In fact, when you do these right, you squeeze your glutes and you avoid overarching your back at the top. Fourth, speed deadlifts. I recently saw an online hockey trainer who, by the way, has zero results of making any athlete better ever, advocating speed deadlifts at 50% of your 1 rep max to get more explosive. Newsflash, due to the nature of the deadlift, you're not going to be able to generate high power outputs, which is a must to improve power. It's impossible. The range of motion from the floor to lockout is fairly short, so you don't have much of a runway to accelerate the bar. In addition, you can't take full advantage of the stretch reflex because the movement starts in a dead stop position with the bar remaining still on the ground. So as you stand up, the bar won't move that fast, no matter how light the weight is or how hard you try to speed it up. If you want high power exercises, then some type of jumping, a vertical jump, broad jump, depth jump, they all are better choices because you can generate high power outputs. If you want to do that with a barbell in your hands, then an Olympic lift variation like the hang power clean or hang power snatch also beats submaximal deadlifts, hands down, for power development. And finally, my biggest pet peeve, quarter squats with too much weight. These are always favored by coaches and athletes who have no business doing them. I've seen videos of 16-year-old weaklings who can't squat 220 pounds calf to hamstring, loading the bar with 365 and descending 3 inches, calling it strength training. All you're doing is overloading the knees and lower back with weights they can't handle, and you run the risk of injuring yourself. You can do partial squats once you know how to lift over a full range of motion and you are strong already, that's when you're going to see a benefit from them as far as joint angle specific strength goes for jumping or sprinting. But weak beginners haven't earned the right to do this. So what should you do instead? Go lighter and squat deep. By the way, for a thorough discussion on partial versus full squats, check out Chapter 8 in Strength Training for Ice Hockey. You won't find a better explanation on this topic in any other sports performance book. And once you read it, you'll understand why deep squats take the cake. Thank you for watching. If you want more great hockey training tips like this, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.